Welcome to our Why Not show. My name is Dragomir, and today we have a special guest, a good friend of mine from Sweden, who is a pastor there, and he is leading up church there with multiple locations, a lot of different activities, and I think we can learn a lot from him on the topic how to lead up a team, how to manage a team, and how to set up values and so on. So here we are with Patrik from Sweden, a good friend of mine, who is actually a pastor in Sweden, in the church there, but he can also be called an entrepreneur. And that's the reason I invited him to our show today, not to talk about the church so much, but to talk about this side of his work, to be a leader, to organize the team, to keep everything in order, and to go forward, to extend the vision and to extend the organization. So welcome, Patrik. You are my first guest. So
thank you very much, Dragomir. It's an honor to be your first guest.
Yeah.
And I will do my very best.
Okay. So let's start. So can you say that you are an entrepreneur, being a pastor and being a leader in the church?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think I can, because I'm not just an ordinary pastor in that way. I'm not super unique, but I'm that kind of pastor that want not just to shepherd, to be a leader for just a crowd. I want to expand. I want to see more, and I want to build a team to do it together with. So in that way, you could call me an entrepreneur, because I love not only to start things, but to see things get moving and see people come in function. And I think that's part of an entrepreneur.
Very good. Yeah. So my idea for this conversation is to see if we can take something from your experience and apply it in the business realm. Do you think it's similar to running a church and running a business? Do you think there's some similarities, some things in common?
Yeah, I think it's a lot in common in a way, but it depends how you should answer. It's a tricky question in one way, but it's because I think church should it's about the purpose, and it's about values. Business normally sometimes can forget about values. It's more about results.
Yeah.
But if I believe that we need more business that actually combine values and results, not just results, not just fighting for more results, more money, or more success. It's not just how we do success. When it comes to normal business, sometimes it's more we get success. But when you combine it, it's how do we get there? It's the why and the how is more important.
I've heard from some businesses that they're really focused on what people need and supplying the people's need and being focused on the people. So that makes sense, I think, because church should be the same way, focusing on people and their needs, and so looking from.
And also as a business leader or as a church leader, you have people around you. Hopefully you have a team around you,
right?
And how do you take care of your team? How does their family doing? I think it's a need when it comes to businesses that actually take care of the whole package.
Yeah, so
not just the end result.
You're actually a very successful leader, as much as I know. You've been a leader for a long time now.
I'm getting old, as you.
Oh, the same age. I think we're the same age.
We are. We actually
are. But it matters. How do you feel in your heart, I guess? So we can.
It does.
In heart.
It does.
Yeah. Anyway, but you are successful in the leading and organizing and inspiring people around you. See, I know you from 1992.
That's awesome.
At that time, yeah, you've been in Varna, in our city in Bulgaria. So you've been coming and going from Bulgaria, for a while, many times, I guess.
Yes, many times.
A good topic would be to talk about Bulgaria and Bulgarian mentality, but we won't do that today. Maybe next time. But as much as I know you, always you have had people around you. You never walk alone.
Exactly. That's a slogan I use quite often because of this.
I knew.
That's true.
I pushed the button.
Yes, you did.
But you attract people, and you're attractive. It's fun to be around you. But people can really take you like a nice guy to hang around. But there is another person behind the scene, very, very determined and very serious and focused. So yeah, you're very successful in being a leader, organizing your organization. You already have multiple locations. So that would be interesting to hear your experience. How do you manage?
Yeah, that's a good question that I sometimes ask myself too, how to manage, because when you talk about leadership, the first one you have to learn to lead is yourself. And that's actually, it's a life journey, and maybe just another show, just that topic, how to lead yourself. But that's number one, and then you lead others. You need to have some kind of interest in others to see others' success. And if you want to see people thrive and success around you, beside you, and ahead of you, you need to be secure in yourself. Otherwise, you will get threatened. I know businesses, even church businesses, but businesses where people get very successful beside the leader, and they get kind of kicked out because the leader get a little bit threatened because somebody gets more successful than him.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand that is the high level of success, to help someone else to be more successful than yourself.
Wow.
That's the high level. And that's something that is my drive, to see people success, to see to see people success and to thrive, and also keep their own personality, not make them be like me. They have to be themselves and be successful. That's a huge topic. You push the button.
Yeah. So deep that I think we can just finish with that. You said it all. But what I heard was that you have to be passionate to help other people to succeed, your team to succeed, and to be free to be yourself, to be yourself.
Yeah.
And
not create copies.
Okay.
And to see that as a success. Now they are like me.
Yeah.
Because that's not. It's better they should be themselves and be even more successful than you.
But what do you think about the difference between being a manager and being a leader?
That's a very good question. Also, I think a leader, actually a good leader create leaders.
Right.
And a manager just holding things together in a way.
Okay.
I think it's a bigger answer on that too. But the first thing when I hear that question, I see that a manager is managing something, but a leader is leading something by example. I think a great leader is worth to follow. So if you think, am I a leader? Turn your head and look behind you. If it's empty, I don't think you're a leader. But if you're a leader, people follow you.
Yeah, that's very strong. Yeah, and very direct. And,
yep.
I don't want to miss to ask you this question, and I am very curious what will be your answer. Do you agree with me that organization, and in your case, your church, the church you are leading, and the organizations pretty much looks like its leader?
Yeah.
What would you say about this?
I think also there, of course, it is a true that it can sometimes looks like the leader, but I don't know if that's the high level of success, if I put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, of course, when I train up leader younger than me to run, I have one person I'm thinking about right now when you ask that question, that I actually had a talk to today, and he said that the first year when I worked with you, I tried to be like you because I saw you were so good to inspire people. You made some jokes and you connect good with people, and I'm not so good at that. But now, after some years with you, I realized that I don't need to be exactly like you. We work together as a team.
Right.
And I think that made me happy, because that's not what I want people to be. It's absolutely enough with one like me, and with one like you, it's enough. We should reproduce principles. We should reproduce values,
Right.
and we should get we should find unity in a goal, in a common goal where we are headed, but we don't need to be the same. So everything in the organization can't be. Now when we multiply and we start churches in different places, it's impossible if everything should be, if you understand what I'm saying, in my color.
Yeah.
It has to be different. It has to be different. But we need to find out where should we have the unity. What if we start a Hope Church, for example, or a business? But now we talk about me. We talk about Hope Church, the church. What make a Hope Church to be a Hope Church? And where is the freedom? Where is the frame? And that is what you need to find out in the business. What's the frame? If you start something, you need to give people freedom inside that frame. And that, I think, it's good leadership, to release people. Long answer, sorry.
Very good answer. I like that. I really enjoy our chat today. And I was thinking while you were talking that even if the church and the different locations, different teams you have in different locations, they have their own color, they have their own flavor, they are different, but still you need to have the same value in the different locations. And you need to have the same culture, so to say. And you have, as much as I know, when you took over the church, you were invited to become a leader of a church which already existed for a while.
Yeah.
And had a certain culture, a bit more traditional. And you worked hard to change the culture and to make it more open for young people and more dynamic. So you can share with us your experience about changing the culture, and then how do you keep that culture? And when you extend, when you go to another location, you already don't have your personal contact so much with the leaders. How do you keep the culture? How do you keep the values when you are not there all the time?
When you're not present, it's a very, very big question.
Wow.
And I will try to answer. I will try to answer pretty short.
Okay.
I admit it was pretty hard to change the culture. The culture was not terrible, but we changed. I came in and I saw that we have a unity, but somehow it was not so open for new people. Okay. And that's something you need to understand when it comes to business, when it comes to organizations, when it comes to churches. Everything has a culture.
Right.
Even if you don't work on it, you will have a culture somehow.
Yeah.
And I heard someone, I didn't make it up, but somebody said that you either have culture by design or culture by default.
Right.
And we just figure out that we want to have culture by design.
Yeah.
So we were sitting down, a whole bunch of leaders, and I asked. We even also went to different churches and met different leaders to learn, to listen, and we figure out what kind of culture do we want. What is the most important? One thing we came up with was that if somebody new is coming to us, we want him immediately. We only have one chance to give the first impression.
Right.
Just one chance. And we wanted to take that chance seriously. We want, if one person bring a friend to the church, it's not the friend's task to make that person feeling welcome. It's the church. We don't hire a person to make people feel welcome. We don't hire a leader. We appoint a leader. You are a welcome boss. Now you help everybody to feel welcome. We wanted that to be a part. It's a DNA, the culture of the whole church. Everybody help to make people. We ask people, how are you doing? Who are you? I haven't seen you before. Welcome. We make people feel welcome. That was one of the things. And of course, we didn't want to miss the edge, actually, why we exist as a church. We didn't want to cut that. So that was a work. And you can't just do that out from sermon on Sundays.
Right.
Or as a boss, as a leader in a business, you can't just do it by emailing a list. This is how we should behave. You need to work with people. You need to be a team player, and you need to show the way. And I think to create a culture, you need two things. You need to encouragement, and you need to confront. I guess you need more of it, but I take it shortly now and direct. So when somebody do something good, encourage him in front of others. If somebody's kind of welcoming someone, now when we talk just about the welcome, I could have 8 points about different culture values. You say in a team meeting, you say, Michael, I saw you this Sunday when you just went right through to 3 new people, and you just took them, you just talked to them, and you just welcome them. It's awesome, and everybody hear it. You're setting a culture. When it comes to confront, I don't think you should do it in public so much, because you hurt people. We are not. That's another value, actually. We don't hurt people, but you could say that what you did there, you just answer short, you look angry, and you went away. I know you were stressed that day, but this is not how we work here.
It looks like pretty much like raising up kids at home.
Exactly. kind of. You need to encourage, you need to confront.
And that leads me to another question. When I was listening to you, it just came to my mind.
Yeah.
What do you think? What will be the percentage when you encourage and when you correct? How do you say that? So you encourage twice and you correct once. So how do you do that?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe encourage 3 times and correct and confront 1 time.
Yeah.
I heard someone talk about a hamburger. You give someone meat. If the tough love, if you confront, if you have something to correct, that's the meat.
Right.
Then you need 2 bread. You need some nice stuff between the bread. It's like a hamburger, and that's how you should do. But I think you should not. I think it's a lack of leaders that actually dare to be direct. I think people, if you have a good heart and if you actually are interested in people's development, I think you can be pretty direct. But if you just have results and no time for people, and you just confront people, this is tricky, and you need to actually lead yourself first to be a good leader to others.
Yeah, as much as I know you are quite transparent and very easy to understand person, very easy to communicate with, very soft-hearted, and that makes it easier when you correct. And
yeah, it does.
When me being a parent, I know that when I correct my kids, it's more painful for me to correct them than it's for them, but it's needed.
Yeah.
So I just want to give you an opportunity to say something on this topic, which I probably didn't ask you, but you want to say it anyway. So I just want to give you that space, and then I want to ask you the final 2 questions, which I plan to ask every guest I have. But I just give you a free space to say if you think, yeah, we talked about this and this and this, but it's good to know also this. So you can ask yourself a question and answer.
You mean right now?
Right now.
Yeah, because when it comes to culture, I love the subject. When it comes to leadership, it's the same, because in a way, we speak a lot about leadership, and we have many books about leadership, but I think leadership is, some people are afraid of leadership. Oh, I'm not a leader. I'm not a leader. I think everybody is a leader. And first of all, you lead yourself, and then you lead someone. And if you have a family, you lead your family. You lead your kids, or whatever, wherever you are kind of a leader. And I like to say leader is also an influencer. And I think we need to understand that everywhere we are, we influence. And that's sometimes you want to find a free space to not be a leader, to not influence, just be yourself. But in a way, forget about it. You always are an influencer, but you can take it. I think it's a way where you can find it, like it's part of life, and I can be myself. It's not a role. It's not something that is really, really tough to be, even if it's cost a little bit sometimes. I think it can just be you. And I think people need to embrace that fact that they are influencers, and we are different. I mean, I standing on a stage when it's not like the world is today. But anyhow, I'm standing on a stage and maybe teaching. We had a Zoom leader meeting for our leaders in the church, around 40-50 people this Saturday morning, couple of hours. I shared 50 minutes about leadership, and I asked 7 other people to also teach a little bit about leadership, just to see. I love to see other people in function. And what we were talking about there is that it's not about to hype people. I want to see leaders, and I think that's good to put in business too, to think about it, to see leaders that you don't need to have a pep talk. To get them do what they should do in your business, you need to pep talk them. Very often in businesses, you need motivation. You need to motivate them. You need to pay them. You need to pay them better if they should stay. You need to motivate them again. You need to give them pep talk. You need to give them a reason, a purpose. But think about it, to raise up leaders that, and in our church, mostly, kind of, almost all of it around us is voluntary.
Right. Yeah, that's really.
So that's even tougher.
Yeah.
But somehow think about, to raise up leaders that actually have their own engine.
Right.
They have their own purpose. They lead themselves. If they should do something this coming week, they take care of some people. That they have a care for some people that are weak or have a tough time, and they actually have their own engine. I don't need to have a hard time to sleep to thinking about, do they take care of them? How should you create an environment, an organization where you have hundreds of people like that actually have their own engine and their own care, and they lead themselves and they take responsibility? That's actually a lack today in society. Right. People don't want responsibilities. It's something bad in people's minds, but it's something beautiful because it gives you something back. And I think the way is, be an example and build relationship with people. So for example, if you look at my organization, you can find 5 to 15 people that I talk to pretty often. And you can also make sure, if you study those 15 people, they have 3 to 10 people that they talk to pretty often. Yeah. And soon you can check those people. They have some people that and we have something I will end with that. I will end with this when it comes to your freedom of speech to me. I will end with that. We have something in our organization that is in every area. You find that word in every area. We actually have in English saying, because we use English a lot in Sweden too. We call it second in command.
What's that?
So second in command.
Okay.
That is actually someone that is ready to take over and do it better than you.
Okay.
A second in command.
Right.
For example, the soundboard. When we have a lot of services, we need good sound. We need someone to take care of the sound. Otherwise, nobody will hear me.
Right.
We have somebody now, when we talk, we have somebody behind us fixing the sound
Absolutely.
and so on.
Yes.
For example, our guys, soundboard, we laugh, we joke a little bit, and we say, like, if you don't hire, you're fired.
Okay.
If you don't find a second in command, if you don't have someone you train, we have a problem. So I even ask people, who is your second in command? And some people say, I know, I need to. And they laugh because I don't think so, at least, unhuman pressure. But this is a DNA, something we want in the culture. And we have someone that now, during this pandemic, we use a lot of Zoom and cameras and stuff. We have one person that is so good in tech stuff, in technical stuff. And now they said that I saw that it was another person there, only 14 years old, fixing and was so good to the technical stuff. And said, who have taught you this? You're awesome in this. Yeah, it's so fun. I was taught by, and then it was someone that actually trained that person. And I asked that person, I said, so good of you to train that young person. That person is better than me now, because they are so used to fix things with computer and stuff, these young people. So I think reproducing is something I love to see in our organization.
Having this structure, I would say structure, it's a whole way of culture and way of organizing and living. Having this structure and this organizing, this culture.
It's a kind of DNA. A system.
Yeah, we can call it DNA. But having it in your organization actually helped you, I guess, to go through this challenge called COVID-19 and
yes,
all
it
these
does.
restrictions. You actually, this is
it did, and it does.
Flexible and makes you keep on going, even if you don't have your regular meetings so often.
Immediately when everything was locked down, even if we were we didn't have so much lockdown as many other nations, but we still have restrictions. We met by Zoom, by internet. We met a whole bunch of people, and we immediately did something that business called SWOT. You probably maybe heard about it. SWOT. We asked, so what's the strength we have now that we can use now? Okay. The S in SWOT.
Okay.
The double V, weaknesses. What's the weaknesses now? And the A, the O, I mean, is opportunities. What kind of opportunities? Yeah, we can go online. We can reach people that we never reached before, for example. And then the T is threats. What's the threats? Yeah, we lose connection with a lot of people that is on the outside, maybe on the third and the fourth circle of our community. So what should we do when I just get 20 people just started brainstorming and thinking about how should we do, and people are so creative, and that's something that many businesses should think about when it comes to the people that actually doing the job. Sometimes it's good to collect them, sit down, give them some good food, and ask them questions. And please be quiet and listen to their answers. Because we as entrepreneurs sometimes, and businessmen and pastors and leaders, when we ask a question, we prepare the next question while they say the answer. That's bad, bad, bad. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that means that's a huge hint. Shut up and listen and learn.
But it's not like this in our conversation.
Now I'm talking. And you asking the questions.
Okay, let me ask you the final 2 questions, because really the time is running. and I can invite you for a second episode somewhere in the future,
it
because
would be an honor.
We just started, I guess. I see that there's so much you can share. But the final questions, the first one is, what does it mean to you to be a success? You have to be really short.
Yeah. When it comes to success, it's not results. It is, of course, results. It can be connected with numbers, but it has to be connected with values as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's my answer.
Okay. And then what it means to you to enjoy life?
To enjoy life, yeah. I think it's very important to keep the smile, to keep the joy and have fun, relax and have fun sometimes. And I think I'm pretty good at it. So enjoying life is to see other people succeed. That sounds very nice, but it is actually a pleasure for me. And also sitting home watching a good game of football with Liverpool when they win, and they always do.
That's another topic we can talk about. You can talk about football a lot.
When I travel with my family, I also enjoy it very much. When we succeed to collect the whole family, it's beautiful.
Okay, Patrik, thanks a lot for being our guest, actually being our first guest in our show.
Cool. Thank you for inviting me, Dragomir.
My pleasure. So be a success and enjoy life. And let's
we keep in touch.
Keep in touch. Sure. Bless you.
Yep. Bless you and Bog da vi blagoslovi.